And we are back, and we just finished watching 2023's Anyone But You, rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 43 minutes. This is currently streaming on Netflix and is directed by Will Gluck, with writing credits to Ilana, Wolpert, and Will Gluck, and loosely based on Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing. This is the story of B, played by Sweeney, who's also a producer, an executive producer on this. I think we saw at the end credits, right? Good on you, sis. And how she meets a man at, I guess, a Starbucks who's nice to her and helps her out, and then goes home with him, and nothing happens. But the next day, she rushes out because she's
stupid.
Well, there's that, but I don't think she knows dating etiquette. And
who cares?
When she tries to fix her mistake, she eavesdrops on a conversation that is not flattering about her.
Because he's stupid too.
And then we fast forward and we find out that B's sister and Ben's friend are getting married. So the two must now orbit each other's company. I'm going to go around the table and get impressions. G, I'm going to start with you.
This movie was so goddamn bad. Oh
Was
my
it?
God. This movie was terrible. Almost all of the characters were the worst. I wanted everybody to die except for Bo.
What made them the worst?
Oh my God, what didn't make them the worst?
Tell me.
They had zero redeeming qualities. God,
especially her parents.
her parents were the
parents
worst.
were terrible.
Talking about, oh, we want to push you to succeed. It's her life.
Yes.
It's her life and it's her choices. And if she doesn't want to be with the man
lawyer.
she doesn't want to be with,
Oh.
then why the hell are you getting on her? Like, oh my God, that was so terrible. They invited her ex to her sister's wedding and were like trying to hype him up or something. Like, she broke up with you for a reason. It is over and done with.
She does go into the reason later on. I don't know if we want to spoil it.
Oh my God, her reasoning was so stupid too.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that, because when I'm watching the film, I was like, wait a minute, is that a good reason to break up with somebody?
No.
Okay. Carry on, Youngblood.
Okay. Not only were her parents terrible, her sister annoyed me too. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Apparently the fight was fake, but that was so goddamn stupid. I remember when they Hallie and Claudia get married, and they're like, "Oh, I'll never abandon you ever." Like, okay then, all right then. But, okay, I didn't like either of them. I guess I didn't like them because of the fight, but I guess since it was fake, it should sort of, like, get rid of my dislike for them, but it's just not enough. I don't like them either way.
Okay.
I didn't mind Claudia's parents. I liked her dad. Her dad was hilarious. She's
Her dad
like,
was hilarious.
drop your drawers and say, come to Papa. That line was great.
That
Brian
guy was
Brown.
a very horrible actor.
We loved FX, right? You saw that in the theater.
FX was great.
It was great. How come no one has redone that property? Like, that to
They
me.
made two movies and a television show.
Right,
Yeah.
right, which was on for a while, wasn't it? That FX show?
It was like one of those syndicated shows.
But it was still on
It
for
was
a
while.
a decent amount of time. Sorry, we're talking about the dad, Brian
I
Brown.
don't know.
Stuff
what
that
the hell you guys are
existed
talking
before you did.
Yes,
Okay.
way before even I knew your dad.
Save it for somewhere where you're not surrounded by people who were born after it. I'm
All right.
talking right now.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
Get on with it, old woman.
Or better yet, don't interrupt me. You love interrupting me.
Sorry. Go ahead, keep going.
Her parents were terrible. Claudia's parents weren't that bad. Claudia's brother Pete was kind of annoying.
He was
I didn't
very
like
annoying.
He's a
him.
dumbass.
Yeah, stupid. Going on about he's a snitch. Like,
Oh my
it's not
God,
her
what a
parents'
bitch.
business.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Oh, your daughter quit law school. Shut your trap.
Yeah, why
it's
would
not
that come
your
up
business either.
Yeah, why
Like,
would that come up in conversation?
He's not even related to her. That was before the wedding, so you can't even argue like, oh, that's my sister-in-law. No, it's not.
We liked Bo, but did we like Margaret?
No, she was a terrible person. She only wants someone she broke up with after she sees him in a relationship.
Right.
She sees him happy with this girl, and then she's like, you wouldn't mind if I have a go at him, right?
That was a weird thing to say to someone, wasn't it?
Like, You should have seen, like, even
if they're situationally
Sweeney
dating.
was like, oh, we're situational. Like, you should have seen the look on her face. That was not situational to her.
Right.
She was annoying. I didn't like Jonathan either.
Oh, okay.
Well, who was, the ex.
Ex-fiance. Yeah.
Talking about, your parents asked if you knew I'd be coming. It doesn't matter if she knew. You just shouldn't have gone anyway.
Right,
Stay out of it. Talking about, he's part of the family. No, he's not anymore. No, he's not. He's not part of the family.
Were any of those people his friends either?
Also that wedding cake was like disgusting.
Yeah, that wedding cake scene was terrible. Oh my God, that was so freaking bad. Her parents are so goddamn annoying and I hate them. Like, everything in this movie is all her parents' fault. Everything in the movie. Talking about, Ben and B are ruining everything. No. It's all B's parents' fault. And they should have gotten, like, stoned to death and then thrown into the ocean.
Wow. That's excessive.
Yeah.
What if your dad and I did that to you?
Oh, that's Olivia! I'm talking. That's the fastest path.
She is fired up.
That's the fastest path to y'all becoming estranged relatives. I wouldn't have my mom and dad anymore.
Ooh.
Well, don't worry. I don't think
we'd ever go down that route. I mean, I'm watching that and I'm like cringing.
Yeah, they're annoying. All right, now you can put your input in, Olivia. Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I would have disowned you guys if you did that to me.
You'd also get put in the home faster. That's what Olivia is so excited for.
And the good home with the cat food.
Yep.
And don't worry, we're gonna make sure that cat food is top tier quality.
Mm-hmm.
Gourmet cat food.
Yeah, gourmet.
Terrible.
Beatings 3 times a week.
The only good character besides Claudia's dad. Claudia's mom was like, okay, she didn't really do much, so I didn't have a problem with her, but her dad was funny. Bo was the funniest. Talking about
Bo. And he just dropped his drawers.
The gobbler.
The gobbler. What were the names?
The hog bonnet, the beef cap. And then he
God bless Australian slang.
Yes.
Seriously.
Yes, that was like the best thing
Because you could drop it and no one would know what the hell you're talking about.
No, I didn't know what he was talking about. Like, Ben was like, oh, this means this and this means what?
I knew what he was talking about.
He's talking about, Mag says you're a ripper cunt. Like, what does that even mean? That was the best
and that
part
sounds
of the
awful,
film.
but it meant good friend.
Yeah,
I was like, that doesn't sound nice.
I thought that was like sexual innuendo or something. That's like the most friendly thing ever. Like, yo, you're a great friend. Yeah. A jolly good friend.
Are you going to start dropping those words around at school?
I wish.
You're my ripper cunt.
All right. You need to, yes.
Watch it.
Yeah.
We ain't in Australia.
Yeah. Because I could see dropping that word. And, yeah.
I don't want to hear.
My God! Please, we're at the home stretch with school.
Yeah,
you could drop it in the summertime.
The robocall calling up and saying, your children should refrain from using the term "ripper cunt," please.
Yeah.
And then in Spanish.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You got to get the message in both languages. So, I guess this would be a romantic comedy, unlike The Idea of You, which I guess was more of a romance.
Yeah.
But I feel like I liked that one more. I think the performances were better. The production values were better. The script was way better. This script was...
The script was unfortunate.
The script was unfortunate. I think that's the best way to say it.
The worst script ever.
I don't know about the worst, but it's
not one of the worst scripts ever.
I wouldn't say it was horrendous. It just... This felt like a movie that would have just gone on stream. Like, I was surprised when you told me that it was actually released in a movie theater.
Did phenomenally
and apparently
well.
did super well.
Yeah. I mean, according to IMDb,
good for everybody involved.
The gross was like
220. Yeah, 219 million. And this was a $25 million investment. So kudos to everyone involved with this film, because it did really, really big numbers. And that's kind of a lot for a romantic comedy. You don't see that genre generating that kind of numbers. I guess besides Zendaya, Miss Sweeney is also having a moment. She's everywhere, I feel like.
Yeah.
In everything.
Seems like it. But yeah, it definitely felt like a film that would have just been on streaming.
Yeah, like an Amazon original.
It was filmed well, but it wasn't cinematic in any
not in the
kind
slightest.
of way. And you could tell that all the actors were kind of just phoning this one in. I mean, especially like Dermot Mulroney and He was almost like a caricature, a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
The father, the guy,
Bee's father that you didn't like.
Oh, I don't even remember. I can't even tell you his name.
He was the one that was trying to learn to swim or dive or something.
And like the sister and her wife or fiance.
Well, wife at the end. They didn't really have good chemistry.
They had zero chemistry.
Yeah.
It felt like I was like kind of surprised when it was just like, oh yeah, we're getting married, because it was just sort of like, you look like two people who are just standing next to each other online waiting for their order to be called.
Yeah.
You don't seem like you actually know each other. You're not really, the body language wasn't there, you know. And I felt kind of like that with almost everybody. Everybody almost felt.
It felt like they were acting, but not convincingly.
Yeah, like, it felt like they were all a little uncomfortable with each other, like the awkward person at a party.
Okay,
except everybody was that person.
What about the two main leads? I thought
the two main leads had decent chemistry, but they're the focus,
right?
But I'm talking about like everybody around them. Everybody around them just sort of felt like they were like, what are we really doing this? Like, what are we seeing here? I don't want to be here. Like, seriously, it felt like a lot of people at a party and they all wanted to go home.
Olive G, who was your favorite character in this mess?
Bo.
What about Clonopin?
Oh God, that dirty, filthy dog.
Do you dislike
Another
this dog
unlikable character,
or the dog that loves TC? Who's the bigger stinky dog?
This one.
Really? Because he ruined the cake.
With the hard ones, I can't argue. But yeah, that dog wasn't ruining wedding cakes. It's from the article that I read.
But they still use the wedding cake.
Yeah, that's
misshapen
disgusting.
it all.
What is their problem? Like, I know that you're not in such dire straits. You're at like some mansion in Australia. You totally could have bought another wedding cake, you filthy weirdos.
Or just regular cakes and thrown them all together.
Yeah, seriously.
Or cupcakes.
Yeah, exactly. Get cupcakes.
Slap a bunch of Carvel cakes on top of each other, and there you go.
Same effect.
Same thing, yeah. Just a mound of cookie pusses.
Olive G, did you have a favorite scene?
Not really.
When he tells her to stick her finger up his butt?
Wait. No, my favorite scene was the spider scene when that spider was on his butt. Or like,
how did he not know? He was like, I don't have a mole on my butt.
That thing was gigantic, too.
Yeah. How did that get in there? I mean, God only knows. I never want to go to Australia.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Because Sweeney had shorts that were like skin tight, but his were like
baggy.
loose.
Yeah. So do you think?
His leg on his
do you think he told her to stick her finger up his butt to make sure there was no spiders?
Yeah, he totally likes when people stick their fingers up his butt.
All right, we're heading down a dark path here. That might be a poor choice of words.
It's not dark enough.
Particular moment, but
okay. So I'm going to assume that we think that this movie was mediocre at best.
It was trash.
It was terrible.
What could have made this better?
Not writing it.
Don't make it. Don't make it.
No, I mean,
not making it.
I think it could have been better if.
Too many characters.
It's Shakespeare. It's based on the Shakespeare thing. There was a ton of characters. If I remember right, Much Ado About Nothing has a buttload of characters in it. I just feel like everybody was they were hamming it up, and not in a good way. I think this could have been better if the people portraying the parts were just more engaging. I didn't find any charm in any of these characters. I mean, I guess gradually as the film went on, the leads, you feel a little bit for them, but it takes so long
to get there.
I mean, usually it's just like you're watching the film, and within like the first 15 minutes or first 20 minutes, you're like, I like this character. I really hope it works out for them.
Right. Here,
it wasn't that. It was like in the beginning, like the whole reason for them not getting together after they have a wonderful time together. And then the reason, it's just, I don't know what to do. Oh my God, why am I talking to you on the phone? Oh, I better go back. What? Who is this stupid? It's like, I haven't done this in so long. Who cares? You've completely forgotten how to be around human beings? I mean, was there like some dark past going on in this movie where Jonathan kept her locked up in a closet and maybe that's why they broke up? Although according to her, the problem was we never argued. We got along too well. It's just like
it got boring.
What?
I guess
you break up because you're too good for you're too good to each other. It's I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on with these characters that it makes it hard to like them.
I'm assuming he's not the match that lights her fire. I feel like better writing.
I think a better writing could have explained.
Would have really helped this. I think that they needed to pare down the stories because if you think about the original Shakespeare play, Hero is supposed to marry.
I think you're getting the timeline wrong because they were dating when she met him, but they were on break. So when they got back to
No, she broke up with him, and then in the span of the
no, don't interrupt me. Okay, so they were on break when they met, and then she got back together with him.
Terrible mistake.
And then 6 months later, they got engaged, and then after like a year and a half. Because it said they met like 2 years ago. So after a year and a half, she broke off the engagement.
So this is allegedly loosely based on Much Ado About Nothing by Shakespeare. In the original, Ben is Benedict and B is Beatrice. And they are sort of bamboozled into falling for each other. But obviously the feelings must have been there. But the other story about the wedding is that Hero and Claudio... in this incarnation, Hallie and Claudia are getting married. But then John the Bastard orchestrates this thing where Claudio sees Hero allegedly having sex with someone else and then shames her the next day at the wedding.
Well, they just jettison that whole plot.
Right. So that whole intrigue that happens there is not part of this story, which, fair enough. But I feel like it was poor writing. And I think the story could have been better. I mean, if you were going to do like a retelling of Shakespeare, I mean, make the wedding part of maybe the backstory. Definitely the idea of enemies to lovers is interesting. And that's sort of what Much Ado About Nothing is. And springboard off of that. And the Hallie Claudia character could be planning their wedding throughout. And then the stress of their sister / best or good friend fighting is the reason that maybe their impending nuptials get jeopardized. Like, instead of it being this other thing, right? Tie it into the wedding in that specificity, right? And then go from there. Like, I hated Pete. I didn't really like him as a character. I don't know why he was there.
What are you even talking about?
I didn't like Margaret. I'm talking about what would have made this better.
But like about the wedding, like what are you talking about?
So in the original Shakespeare play, it's two people, Hero and Claudio. And Hero and Claudio are going to get married, but John the Bastard, right? He's another character. He tells Claudio to come with him, right? And then Claudio allegedly sees Hero having sex with someone else. So then the next day at the wedding, he embarrasses Hero and basically says all these things about her and that he's not going to marry her, which is obviously a big deal back in the day. Like now, nobody would care, but
back then she'd be ruined.
Exactly, she's ruined. She's devastated.
Become a nun or kill herself or something.
Right, and then they devise this scheme where they say that she kills herself, and then it comes out that Hero was innocent, and then Claudio feels terrible because he let himself be guided by these other voices, and all the while Benedict and Beatrice are falling in love. To the point where Benedict turns on his friends because now he's in Beatrice's family's corner, right? So that's the story on the Shakespeare side. But when we're talking about Anyone But You, it didn't feel like there were any high stakes. And the relationship between Ben and B, it just didn't feel... I don't know. It just didn't feel like... You know, we talk about like relationships in certain films are earned. It didn't feel like an earned relationship, even though they had spent this weekend together. And then all of a sudden at the end, I guess they hadn't seen each other. I mean, I'm assuming because of their relationships with the brides, they see each other occasionally. But at the end, Ben tells B that he loves her. I'm like, dude, you just spent the weekend with her. Like, what?
Yeah. It was they had basically their entire relationship was a couple of good conversations.
Yeah.
And
and I mean, that would make sense in the 50s, but not today, right? In the 50s, it's like, we had 2 great dates. Let's get married.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty much, yeah.
I don't know. Like the story, the writing was super weak.
It felt cartoony.
Yeah.
Almost. It was like that simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Simple. I think that's a great word. Yeah. It was very simple.
There's no...
It felt like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, I guess a Hallmark movie would probably be the best.
Yeah.
But even Hallmark movies, they usually it's like a month or 2 or something.
Right. And
or maybe we knew each other when we were kids, and now something like that. There's like a history or something. And
right.
Their history was a single night where they talked and had a great time, but then it got completely ruined in the morning because of
her running away and him running his mouth.
Yeah, massive stupidity on both parts.
Right.
Which could have easily been just like washed aside if they would have just been like
communicated. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah.
End of movie.
Right.
But
and then she goes back to her because her and the other guy were on a break.
Yeah.
And I guess they're engaged, and then they're not engaged. Because even the sister was like, "Oh, I thought you were going to get married before me."
Yeah. What was the whole point of all that?
Yeah. It was too much. It was too much.
And his name was Jonathan, right?
Yes.
So was he supposed to be John the Bastard?
Which wouldn't make sense.
It didn't make sense because he wasn't trying to break up anybody's marriage.
Right.
He actually seemed like a
loser.
A loser, but a nice enough guy.
Yeah.
Even though he was a loser. Like, seriously, who's like, oh, my ex-girlfriend's parents just invited me to Australia. I'm okay. I'll go.
Yeah, what a weirdo.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't believe the numbers this movie made, but
yeah.
Yeah. She's pretty and he's handsome. I guess that's why.
There are plenty of films with handsome and pretty people in them.
True. But this is like mindless entertainment.
Yes.
This is the definition of mindless.
Mindless, yes, exactly. Simple, mindless. Yeah.
So I think that
this does not hold weight under scrutiny.
Yeah, so I think that this would definitely fit the bill, right?
All right, so there's not much else to say about this.
There really isn't. I'm going to go around the table and get numbers. I'm going to start with you. What's your number?
I would give this a 4.
A 4?
Yeah. I say 4 because it felt below average. Like I said, I think this would have been better if the cast just had more chemistry together. They really did not seem to want to be around. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, I don't think
it's just something that I got. And like there was like a point at the end where they started playing that stupid song.
Oh, Unwritten. Yeah.
And the DJ sort of like looks at them. You know, like they look at the DJ, and the DJ, this lady who wasn't there, she sort of looks at them and she gives like the most half-hearted like acknowledgement to them. And to me, that just summed up everybody's feelings. Like she was there, she was pretending to spin records, and she was just like, all right, could I leave now? That's what I feel like everybody was saying in their mind. Could I leave now?
So this movie had a couple of F words in it, so makes sense that it's rated R.
Profanities,
it also has some
boobs.
titties in it.
Easy.
Come on.
Come on. There is nudity.
There's some breasts.
And some butts.
Yeah.
There's plenty of butts.
It showed some of his wiener.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Yeah,
it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Bo's
a very,
wiener.
very tiny bit. The tip of Bo's penis was shown.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't looking that hard, I guess. Wow. I missed it.
That's the penis inspector.
I forgot what he said, but he was like holding it, and he's like the aardvark or something like that.
The anteater.
The
and then he blows a raceberry.
Yeah, when he blows the raspberry.
That was a great scene.
And then it's kind of like
Is that what he was doing?
Up.
Yes.
Yeah, that cemented
I don't know if it was a real penis or his real penis.
It was kind of like a hole that opened up when he blew the raspberry on the tip of his penis, and like it kind of.
Jesus. Why'd you become like a detective in this one thing?
It kind of made me uncomfortable.
Oh my goodness.
So,
What is
yeah.
that?
So that's
This
probably,
is not Rye Lane.
That's where Rye Lane is a wonderful story.
Yeah, and that's a
Great
good romantic.
and everybody in that movie had awesome chemistry.
Yes.
Even the background characters.
Yeah.
You could see they wanted to be there.
Yeah.
To make this movie.
And the writing was sharp and funny, and
this I don't think people I it really felt like they were making this movie thinking this is going nowhere. This will never see the light of day.
and yet,
and then it made
really
$200 million and like
$220
million, and they're just like, oh,
wow,
God,
my God!
If I would have known that, I would have acted a bit better.
We might have to do a sequel.
I'm sure in the sequel they'll bring their A game.
So you give it a 4. I am going to agree with you. I was originally going to give it a 5, but the writing on this was terrible. Terrible. I mean, it felt like it was written by a 4th grader.
I feel like the performances
were also very wooden.
Were worse than the writing.
Fair. Okay, fair.
I mean, the dialogue between the two leads wasn't that bad.
No, I think
it was.
A lot
it
of
was
attention,
honestly, it was everybody else. Everything
that brought
they
it down.
said, everything they did, except for Brian. What's his name?
Brian Brown.
Brian Brown and whoever the guy was that played Bo.
Yeah,
that guy was great.
Those were the goats.
Those
Yeah,
two. There's 2 Australian guys. And the 2 leads.
Do you think this
were
was?
okay.
Do you think this was just an excuse to go to Australia for a little bit?
Maybe.
Yeah. Because I just looked at the IMDb page. The woman who plays Bee's mother is Rachel Griffiths, who didn't look like Rachel Griffiths.
Why is that name familiar?
She was on. I think she was in 6 Feet
Peter
Under,
Griffin.
and she played the friend in Muriel's Wedding.
You're talking about a lot of stuff I never watched.
Terrible.
But I've heard her name.
Yeah, she.
All right, continue with numbers.
I too am going to give it a 4. I believe. Yeah, it's not good. It's less than average, and yeah, the writing was terrible. The leads did a decent job, but everything else sunk the ship. Olive G, 1 to 10. What are we giving this film?
I'll go before Olivia.
Go ahead.
I'm giving this movie a 3.
A 3?
Don't ever watch this film unless you're in the mood to be angry.
We should watch Twilight. You see how you can
No,
say?
I really don't want to watch Twilight.
Twilight was to rent or buy.
Yeah, I'm too.
Even the
I'm too
streaming
cheap, though.
services don't want that.
I'm sure we could have found it on Hoopla.
I would give this movie a 2.5. This movie was garbage. This movie is trash. Even my 2 favorite people in the movie couldn't save this film.
Who was your favorite people again? Bo.
Same as Grace.
Bo and
The
Big
dad.
Papa.
Yeah, they were like the only good ones. Like they weren't everyone else in the story was annoying as hell besides them, which is why they're my favorite.
You didn't like Clonopin?
Who the hell is
The dog.
Clonopin?
The dog.
The
I
dog.
literally couldn't care less about Clonopin.
That's
He
that's
ruined the wedding cake.
Yeah, that's a feat to make you not like the dog.
That is a
Yes,
feat.
seriously.
Yeah, and it's one of those cool Australian dogs.
Yeah.
They're all
The
patchy,
little Australian
Yeah.
shepherds.
And
And-
he made me angry.
and he had a stupid name.
Yeah. Well, his owner was an idiot.
Yeah,
I think Pete was like my least favorite character.
yeah, he was a dumbass.
He wasn't charming or whimsical.
And he looked.
I'd say my
was it
least
just me,
favorite
or did he
character
look
is-
like
He was
10,
high.
15 years older than everybody else that he was
he
supposed
did.
to be friends with.
Yeah, he did.
I think he
Was. Yeah.
My least favorite characters were her Bee's parents. They were annoying as hell.
These parents were awful.
They should have burned in hell. That they should have killed themselves.
They're gonna burn
for
in
what
hell
they
when they
did.
die.
That they should have had a 10-hour whipping session with Satan. They should have.
All right, you know,
All right,
I think we could
let's
leave off on
let's-
that note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's-
They should have been crucified
Easy.
and
okay.
then thrown into
Easy.
a meat grinder.
Okay.
And then they
All
should
right,
have
2.5,
seasoned
3, 4, 4. I think
This is a pass.
this is a hard
This is a
pass.
smash. Smash this movie to bits.
Yeah, this was not
Okay,
good.
no problem.
Although I'm sure there's going to be a sequel. I'm sure they're going to take another Shakespeare
is a
property
sequel,
and make it into a
I'm gonna
romantic comedy.
Maybe. You never know.
I think you and I should pair this with another version of Much Ado. And we'll see where
Or
it
maybe
goes
they'll
from there.
just take the two leads and just make them like a Hepburn, Tracy, just make a series of movies where they're falling in love in each one.
Well, I mean, I think for a while, I feel like that was Kate Hudson, right? I felt like she was sort of like a rom-commer. Even Anne Hathaway for a while was like a rom-commer. Ashley Judd back in the day, in the 90s maybe.
Well, she started doing all those like thrillers.
Yeah,
it was like her and Morgan Freeman or something.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a couple of actresses that are definitely rom-commers, right? So it's like, this is what the expectation is. So
Sandra Bullock was there for
Sandra Bullock was there for a while. While You Were Sleeping still slaps. I don't care what
That's
anybody
kind
says.
of weird. The Proposal's better.
I don't know if it's better. It's
I think
good.
it is.
I don't know if
I've
it's
never
better
watched.
than.
I don't know. I've never watched that. That sounds.
You've never seen While You Were Sleeping? We gotta watch
that
that.
sounds stupid and weird.
It's not.
You got to give it a chance.
Yeah, you gotta give it a chance.
If you just read the description of the movie without knowing all the context, it just sounds like she's gaslighting everybody.
Yeah, what context could there be? She likes him or something? That's
You'll see.
weird.
Well, you and I will watch it one day.
Yeah, she fell in love with him.
Yeah, that's still weird and gross.
That's why it's a comedy.
Yeah.
That's where that comes in.
Yeah.
If you could use weird and grossness for comedic purposes, then good.
Yeah, look at Step Brothers.
If you're using weird and grossness and it's just there and you're just like, why is this happening?
Like Human Centipede.
Well, that was for a purpose.
Yellow.
Because you peed on it.
What the hell, man?
Can we
All
end
right.
this review
Yes,
already?
yeah.
What the
All
hell's
right,
going
that's
on?
it. Skip anyone but you.
Okay.
Don't ever watch this.
Don't ever
I
watch
can't
it.
believe you wanted to
trash.
see this so bad.
This movie should be
I
crapped
wanted
on
to
1,000
do
times.
like a whole bunch of romantic comedies because
I hate romantic comedies.
All right. Any movie but this one. How about that? Let's wrap it up.
You
Come
know
on.
what?
Romantic comedies.
you know what?
Everybody-
Instead of this, I want to suggest.
Bobby.
Wait,
just one more thought.
just one more thought. Yes. What was the one that we saw last week? The Idea of You. I thought that was better.
Yes, that was better.
That was a better film, and also Paddington 2. Go find it and watch that.
Excellent, yes.
Yeah.
All right, and now that's it from us, and we will bid you all a
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
good night.